Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to Sunday morning in the old cookbook show. Today, I got a lot of books out. Those books are not for what we're doing right now. At the same time as I'm filming this, the same day that I'm filming this, I'm also filming old cookbook show recipes for crumpets and English muffins. If you live on the other side of the Atlantic, they're just muffins, of course, not English muffins. Here, they're English muffins. So I've got all those books out because it's just a long, convoluted, complicated story. This video, however, is about this little cookbook that was sent in by a viewer. Thank you very much. It's held together with, a little bit of twine and tape, and it's got some extra paper on the outside. Inscribed on the front page is Mom's Cookbook, and inside there isn't any information about when or where it's from. Every recipe is attributed to a member of the community, so it is a community or church cookbook of some sort. There's all kinds of pages stuffed in here with other recipes and handwritten recipes all throughout. Pretty much every recipe has a notation beside it, either a check mark that says, that I assume says that they've made it, because in some places it's got a check mark and it says good. In some places it's got a check mark that says not so good or not so great. Or there's also lots of notes on how to fix the recipe according to whoever owned this first. So we're going to do a recipe called Peanut Butter Brownies. Not what you're thinking. Not the chocolate brownie cake squares. These are cookies. And I think they're going to be very interesting. So first into the mixer, as always, butter. Next in is peanut butter, and this is just peanut butter. There's no sugar. It is chunky, just peanuts, peanut butter. And we'll start that off. Of course, use the peanut butter you like. The no sugar one is just the one that Julie and I have in the house. We use it for everything. Next in is white sugar. And I have to imagine that this recipe was written, well, it depends on the time frame. But I have to imagine that it was written with a sugared peanut butter in mind. I think pretty much down through history, most peanut butter has had a sugar component. And while that's creaming together, we'll deal with the dry ingredients. Flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And I'll give that just a little bit of a stir. So the amount of flour I'm using is 1.25 cups. The original recipe said 1 cup. And whoever has owned this cookbook has written in 1/4 beside it. They've added 1/4 cup of flour. I don't know if that extra 1/4 cup would be necessary for me. Differences in flour types, grind, difference in time between when that was written and now, flour changes. I don't know if I've made the right decision, but I've gone with 1.25 cups of flour. And it's interesting, the next recipe down is brownies. It has a check mark, and it says beside it, like chocolate cake. Next in is melted chocolate, 1 square of melted chocolate. You know the drill, repeat after me. A square of chocolate is not a shape. A square of chocolate is an ounce of chocolate. I feel like I'm going to have to give that chocolate spiel right to the very last recipe that I do on YouTube. The very last recipe that I do on YouTube is going to be, it's going to have chocolate, it's going to have currants. What else can we throw in there? Anyway, sour cream. Even after I say that, I still get people who email me super angry saying, no, they changed what a square of chocolate is a few years ago when they changed the packaging. They may have changed the packaging, but they can't retroactively change how much chocolate a cookbook from 20, 30, 40, 100 years ago is asking for. When a cookbook is asking for a square of chocolate, it's asking for an ounce of chocolate. Next in is the milk. And now I'm going to spoon in the dry mixture, a little bit at a time, not too quickly. So the annotation in the book is they spread. And I have to imagine that they will, because this is, for a cookie dough, it's a pretty loose dough. Just says drop from a teaspoon on a greased baking sheet, bake 12 to 15 minutes in a moderate oven. So just the same as any other cookie. And I'm going to leave extra room because they spread. Now the recipe also says nuts if desired. I kind of decided that since I was using chunky peanut butter, that I was just going to go with the nuts that were in the peanut butter. But of course, you know, chopped up peanuts would probably be a great addition to this. I can't imagine other nuts would work as well since, you know, peanut is the major flavor here. I wonder if I've left enough space. We're about to find out.
Hey, Glenn. Hey,
Jules.
friends. You've been busy today.
I have been.
You have a whole bunch of books out. Oh, my goodness.
So all of those books are for the English Muffins and Crumpets episodes, which are coming up.
Okay.
This cookie, they look amazing.
They do look great.
The person who, you know, not
Peanut Butter Brownies. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Just the name sounds really
So it
good.
was written in here, they spread. So I was worried that they were going to spread and be flat, and they did spread, but they spread out to be something that I think looks fantastic.
I'm questioning whether I should have shared it with you. That's really the concern I have. Those are pretty good. I like those.
Oh. That's great. Yeah. That's great. Thank you. Olive smoothie.
That's great. I like that the person who owned it,
Yeah.
like my grandma, gave it like good.
Good.
Check mark.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Do that one again.
And then she's written in changes and what you should expect, and the other ones, they've all. But I mean, she's also given check marks to ones that she didn't like. I'm assuming it's a woman.
Maybe they've done it.
If they did it, and then she's written in, nah.
my grandmother did that too. Not good.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so this is me with my hands in my pockets trying hard not to eat more of them. Those are good. Those would be great. More peanuts. I'd put more peanuts in.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I used the chunky peanut butter that we have, but more chopped peanuts, I think.
Yeah, I would add some chopped peanuts.
Um,
Okay, so that I didn't realize that the few peanuts were because we have chunky peanut butter. Okay.
I've never come across these before. Have you? Does your family make something like this? Tell us about it, because those are really good. There's more in the freezer.
Excellent.
Okay, shake and drop.
No. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh! I was so enrolled in the in the cookie. All I was thinking was turn off the camera so I can have another cookie. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.